What's up, bro? Boxing combo, just like I did a vid talking about what if Manny Pacquiao is using steroids. I wanted to do a vid saying that he may not be using steroids, which I think he's not. And I want to compare these fights with styles, not based on if people think he's using something, based on strictly on the styles of the fights he's been fighting after moving up from 130 pounds. Moving up from 130 pounds. Before that, okay, he's fighting a lot of guys. Morales, Barrera, Marquez. These are all small guys that are fast and have better boxing skills than Manny Pacquiao. So obviously it wasn't as easy. But he's moving up in weight class, and he was able to maintain that speed. By maintaining that speed, being a smaller fighter, sometimes we didn't notice, I didn't notice, but he actually had more of an advantage fighting these bigger, stronger guys. I heard this from a friend of mine who knows a lot about boxing, those guys who started the OMB and all these CMB and all these belts, where he told me sometimes speed is better than power. So I'm looking at Manny Pacquiao. This guy is not the most technical boxer out there, but he does know how to follow a game plan. He does know how to execute a game plan. And along with his God-given ability of being so fast, so agile, so athletic, he was able to dominate guys like Diaz at 135 based on speed. He was able to dominate guys at 147 like Oscar De La Hoya based on speed. He was able to take a guy like Ricky Hatton at 140 because Ricky Hatton has awful defense. And based on speed and not power, it wasn't power. He caught him with a good punch in the jaw. Because the game plan, the strategy, it all worked. Dodge punches, come back up with good right hooks, catch Ricky Hatton in the jaw. He caught him with his hands down, based on speed. Sometimes you don't have to be such a powerful guy just to catch somebody in the jaw, just like, but caught him on the jaw. You know, the jaw is something fragile to a certain point. You know, where you get dazed, and sometimes your legs just come out beneath you, and you know it's a knockdown. That's what happened with Cotto. If you see Cotto and you see the 24/7, Pacquiao, Freddie Roach, they studied the hell out of Miguel Cotto. They knew that when they were engaging, and then once Cotto was stepping back, Pacquiao would just throw an extra punch, and which was able to catch Miguel Cotto in the jaw, which took him down twice while stepping back. Because while stepping back, Cotto would put his hands down, like it happened with Sab Judah, where he put his hands down while stepping back. Sab Judah caught him with an extra punch and almost knocked him out. In the first round, I believe that was. So it could be just based on strategy, speed, and that's why Manny Pacquiao is looking so good versus all these fighters he's been facing since moving up, because he's fighting fighters that are much slower than him. You see Diaz, you see Ricky Hatton, you even see Cotto, they're flat-footed. Now, if he were to fight Mayweather, he would probably have a lot more trouble, because Mayweather is just as fast with his hands, he's just as up on his toes, bouncing around towards a certain point, like Manny Pacquiao, even though Manny Pacquiao does bounce around a little bit more. But he was probably going to face a lot more trouble fighting a guy like Mayweather, because they're on the same level of speed. But now I'm thinking we are accusing Manny Pacquiao of using something because of whatever people are saying, which I'm not an expert about, but I don't care being an expert about it. I want to give my opinion like everybody else does. But I do think that based on the speed that he has, since he had it in the lower weight classes, but fighting guys just as fast as him in the small, the lower weight classes, because these are all guys known for speed. Pacquiao, Barrera, Morales, Marquez, these are all fast guys in those weight classes. Moving up to guys like Ricky Hatton, Oscar De La Hoya being a fast guy back in his prime, but not in his prime anymore. Fighting guys like Miguel Cotto, fighting guys like Diaz. These are guys that are not fast fighters. These are guys that are a lot more slower than Manny Pacquiao. And I think the advantage was that he was just much faster, wearing 8-ounce gloves fighting Miguel Cotto, just going away on his face. Obviously, it was going to swell up. He's fast. He has 8-ounce gloves. I think it wasn't steroids to a certain point. It was probably just more based on speed. I'm giving you both sides to the story. I think it probably could have been based on steroids, but I do think it probably could have been based on speed and great strategy by behalf of Freddie Roach. That's my video on this, bro.